By virtue of the powers vested in me as the Chancellor of the University of Zululand, I hereby constitute this congregation for the conferment of degrees and award of diplomas and certificates. We may be seated.
Chancellor, Apostle Dr. Mandlenkosi Collins Lomo, Chairperson of UniZulu Council, Professor David Mabunda, in absentia, members of Council, Convocation President Dr. Nhlakanipho Kwanyana, in absentia, members of Executive and Extended Management, Inkosi yakwamkhonazi, Ndonga Shamashi. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of our guest speaker, Dr. Begisisa Ntabel. I would also like to acknowledge the director from the Office of the MEC for Education in KwaZulu-Natal, Dr. Ngogi Mahaye. Members of Senate, academic and support staff, SRC President, Mr. Sazin Lela, and student leaders, graduates, parents, guardians, and relatives of guardians, distinguished guests, partners of the University of Zululand, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, Sanbonani. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this auspicious occasion where we showcase the responsibility and mandate entrusted to us by society. Annual graduation ceremonies such as these have always awakened a sense of well-deserved jubilation, individual affirmation, and collective triumph. Yet, my observation over the years as a participant in other capacities and now as a leader have led me to develop a keen interest on issues around what lies beyond the accolades we are here to celebrate today. We must remember that a graduation ceremony is symbolically much deeper than the festivities, and that lasts for a few hours. It must be understood as constituting a profound rite of passage that marks personal transformation, academic achievement, and a public commitment to societal contribution. Furthermore, this is an occasion where the university is making a bold statement announcing that we have executed our mission successfully, meaning that we are saying to society, we are pleased to present to you the outputs of what you assigned us to do. The true impact of this assertion, however, cannot be known immediately after each graduate walks out of here with a certificate. It will be determined by two main things. The first relates to how effectively the qualified person will apply the skills and capabilities which we declare they now possess. The second, it has to do with the question of the relevance and responsiveness, the offerings they went through to acquire particular qualifications. In short, esteemed guests and graduates, as implied above, the impact of today's graduates will largely be shaped by the quality of the education and training they received from our institution. Given this reality, it stands to reason that as a university, it becomes necessary to do a periodic assessment and recalibration of our mission and practices to ensure they are fit for purpose in terms of yielding the necessary responsiveness to societal challenges. This is why I have chosen to frame the theme of my welcome as responsiveness and the mapping of university mission. There are three key interrelated elements in this theme. There's responsiveness, there's mapping, and there's mission. With regard to responsiveness, for me, the concept primarily speaks to the ability of the university in terms of its offerings and practices to meet the needs of both the students and society. The idea also captures an aspect of proactivity in the sense that it requires us to shine the spotlight on identifying and capitalizing on opportunities in the environment in which we work. At the same time, it implies the capacity to adapt and create value within the dynamics of changing demands of students, industry, and society. Viewed from this angle, responsiveness also entails a mapping process designed to ensure an ongoing alignment between, on one hand, the university mission, and on the other, the practices and mechanisms that are deployed to meet the needs of individuals and society. In this connection, what resides on the university in mission should be an illumination of university's greater purpose, footprint, or influence in society. These components have conventionally been broken into the first mission, which is teaching and learning, the second mission, which is research and innovation, the third mission, which is community service or engagement. Additionally, a university mission signals the direction of its potential responsiveness. I shall come back to this categorization of university missions later. But first, I would like to say a word on the evolving frame of reference for evaluating university-society relationship. Traditionally, universities' performance was assessed in terms of the quality and quality of its contributions to a triadic relationship between itself, being the university, and with the industry, as well as with the government. This structure was termed triple helix and seen as a core model for judging university responsiveness. According to the triple helix framework, the three main stakeholder roles were understood to function as follows. The university for producing graduates, as we are doing today, who ought to be equipped with knowledge, skills, and capabilities for use in the industry. The industry for providing employment in which knowledge, skills, and capabilities are deployed for the production of goods and services, as well as development. And I did mention that the government for providing financial and other inputs. To maintain the helix structure, each of the stakeholders' roles will feed into each other. In other words, the government must respond to the needs of the university. The university must be responsive to the needs of the industry, which in turn generates resources that feed into government and so on. With the unprecedented challenges and transformations experienced in the 21st century, such as those documented in the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, it has become imperative for universities to reshape their priorities and missions. The development has exposed gaps in the triple helix model, requiring universities to recognize and serve other stakeholders beyond government and industry. As a result of this increasing multi-stakeholder social focus of university work, terms such as quadruple fourth, quintuple fifth helix, and more recently, multi-helix, it emerged, the multi-helix. Given this understanding, determining university's responsiveness must therefore be done within the multi-helix characterization of university-society relationships. Against this backdrop, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to now share with you how UniZulu is positioning itself as a key responsive higher education institution of our times. I will elaborate on how our current thinking, efforts, and practices are aimed at strengthening our mission in ways that enhance our responsiveness to societal grand challenges. So, how then, as the University of Zululand, are we seeking to strengthen our university mission to enhance responsiveness? And as I have indicated also that broadly, when I talk of a university mission, I'm referring to the construct which encompasses the first, the second, and the third mission. So if I may start with the first mission of teaching and learning, how do we advance responsiveness through this mission? We have seen how the triple helix framework saw university education as serving industry by producing human capital that is necessary for economic development. Within this line of thinking, emphasis was placed on the need to produce employable graduates or graduates who have skills and capabilities that are needed in industry. While in our teaching and learning, we take this expectation to be important consideration, we are at the same time aware that the needs of industry are not static. They change with times in accordance with growth in knowledge and complexity of societal challenges. This is why at the University of Zululand, we are seeking to enhance the quality of our graduates by gearing our work to move beyond the narrow production of human capital for industry. Instead, we have chosen to focus on dynamic idea of unleashing of human potential. In other words, our intention is to move emphasis away from the somewhat dehumanizing notion of human capital, which can reduce students to mere instruments for wealth creation and accumulation. We believe that such wealth rarely benefits everyone. Often it fails to improve the lives of the majority and leave many to struggle on their own. It is for this reason, and in line with our pursuit for creating UniZulu as a node for African thought, that we are reinforcing the perspective of unleashing human capital to become human potential to become one of the foundational pillars of teaching and learning. Meaning, we provide teaching and learning that equips students with the ability to generate meaningful value as human beings, It involves active learning that develops important critical thinking skills which promote capable creativity, initiative, and independent action when confronted with everyday challenges. The human potential approach is essential. It is an essential element for an empowering education which fosters critical consciousness, independent thought, and social justice. At the heart of efforts to unleash the human potential in our students is the curriculum that we offer them. A particular site for crafting responsiveness in this respect is its epistemic feature. The critical point here is that under the mantra of the node for the African thought, we have in the recent past directed our energies towards responding to what decolonial scholars have identified as the unjust, dominant, or prevailing Eurocentric knowledge systems in our curriculum. We are undertaking this work as part of a broader decolonization project inspired by the global decolonial turn. And within in South Africa, the much publicized Rhodes Must Fall decolonization campaign by South African students just over 10 years ago. This work has entailed a revisit of content and pedagogy with a view to transforming our understanding and practices. And now, advancing responsiveness through the second mission, which is research and innovation. Under this mission, huge strides have been made, resulting in UniZulu's visibility as a local and global knowledge producer, as measured by the official metrics. In particular, and more significantly, our research productivity has shown growing responsiveness to contemporary challenges. Our research has been and continues to be closely aligned with producing knowledge that addresses societal grand challenges, including those encapsulated in the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, African Union Agenda 2063, the Africa We Want, and of course, the South Africa's National Development Plan. Furthermore, thanks to the developing decolonial consciousness, a number of research projects have and are seeking to reclaim and mainstream African epistemologies, which have previously been marginalized. In this connection, I can cite an example of how one of our professors has been recognized for work on the importance and relevance of indigenous knowledge systems. The work, or his work, this work has put the institution and this province in the national and continental map as an example of responding concretely against epistemic domination. This and other important research work by the University of Zululand academics and our students, together with robust decolonial conversations and experimentations that are increasingly being embraced across faculties, demonstrate how we have become responsive to challenges associated with the coloniality of knowledge production. Now, on the third mission, how are we advancing responsiveness through the third mission, which is community engagement or community or social mission? In recent decades, the so-called third mission of university has progressively gained prominence as a central pillar of academic life. OZEL in 2022 and in 2026 has described the essence of the third or social mission as focusing on applying knowledge for problem solving and general societal benefit, be it personal growth, social, economic progress, and other common good, making knowledge open to different communities, interests, or social groups to promote innovation ecosystems that benefit society. This, this perspective places university work at the cutting edge of what has been characterized as a social responsibility turn in academia, an epoch which signals a move away from the ivory tower to social actor identity. These developments indicate that greater attention is now being paid to the third mission. As a consequence of this, we have been inspired to revitalize our already robust community engagement policies and practices to intensify our responsiveness to the day-to-day challenge of our people. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, we are on a clear path of responsiveness. Yes, along the way, we encounter impediments, but we are convinced that our unflinching resolve will sustain us. We also believe that those who are graduating today represent a critical mass, whose numbers I'll be revealing shortly, of sufficient empowered individual poised to make meaningful contribution in the delivery of a better life for themselves, their families, and to a functional relationship between university and society. Now, let me unveil the number of qualified people we are sending out to serve the society. This year, we are graduating a total of 3,961 students, of which 3,259 are undergraduates, 477 honors, 155 masters, and 72 doctorates. This distribution of masters and doctorates by faculties is as follows. The Faculty of Commerce, Administration and Law graduated already 27 masters and 8 doctorates. The Faculty of Education, which was still ongoing, is still ongoing, has 35 masters and 24 doctorates. The Faculty of Humanities and Social Science has 58 masters and 27 doctorates. The Faculty of Science, Agriculture and Engineering has 38 masters and 13 doctorates, which is quite a significant increase from the 2025 graduation. To all our graduates, congratulations on reaching this remarkable milestone. Today is a celebration of your resilience, sacrifice, discipline, and pursuit of excellence as we honor your achievement. Let me invite all graduates to kindly rise and lift your metabols high as a gesture of gratitude and appreciation to all those who have walked this journey with you. Your parents or guardians, families, lecturers, mentors, sponsors, and friends whose unwavering support, encouragement, and sacrifices made this moment possible. Can you please rise? Thank you. Thank you very much. As I conclude, I would like to implore all of us, especially the graduates, to keep our eyes on the ball of responsiveness to fundamental human needs. Let us aspire for higher order accolades, which are based on the successful deployment of our skills and capabilities towards the attainment of sustainable development that will usher in a better life and well-being for all. At this juncture, I would also like to thank the deans of the faculties, the academics, the registrar's office, as well as all other stakeholders at the University of Unizulu, of the University of Zululand, who have worked tirelessly and contributed to making this graduation special. You are the heart and soul of this institution, and through your support, you have committed to our mission of delivering a responsive education. Once again, a warm welcome, and I wish you a meaningful and a productive life after the university. Congratulations. I would like to introduce the biography of, I would like to introduce our guest speaker, actually, Dr. Bekisisa Mtabela. Dr. Bekisisa Mtabela is a distinguished education leader and scholar whose career reflects a lifelong commitment to advancing teaching, learning, and management within South Africa's education system. He began his academic journey at Eshowe Teacher Training College and started teaching at Zwelibanzi Secondary School in 1977. He proceeded to the University of Zululand, earning a Bachelor of Arts in 1982 and a Bachelor of Education in 1987, followed by a Bachelor of Arts honors in Applied Linguistics from the University of KwaZulu-Natal in 1991. He later completed his Masters of Education at the University of Zululand in 1997, and in 2003, he was awarded with his doctoral degree. Dr. Mtabela's professional career began as a post-level 1 educator and later got appointed as headmaster of Zwelibanze High School in 1985, where he provided visionary leadership, drove transformation, and ensured high standards of teaching and learning. He then served as inspector of schools from 1995 to 1996 and chief superintendent of education management in KwaMashu district from 1996 to 2002, coordinating district management activities, launching the culture of learning and teaching services, and strengthening school governance. His leadership extended to senior management roles, including acting director of education management services, 2002, manager in the office of head of department, 2002 to 2003, and manager of education management information system, 2003 to 2012. He also served as acting general manager, chief director of planning in 2006 to 2008, where he managed resources, allocation, donor projects, and strategic management support. From 2012 to 2015, Dr. Mtobela worked in the department as a director of rural academic support, focusing on capacity building for educators in multiple grade classroom, curriculum improvement, and provision of essential learning resources. He later became district director of Pinetown in 2015, overseeing curriculum delivery, governance, teacher development, and district planning services. After retiring in 2015, he continued his service through NGO work, leading a metric intervention program for disadvantaged schools in Ndwedwe. In 2017, he was called out of retirement to establish and lead the Mandla Mthethwa School of Excellence, Umkhanyakude District, a role held until 2023, ensuring quality education and academic excellence for learners. Dr. Mtabela's career is marked by transformational leadership, strategic vision, and unwavering dedication to educational development and equity in South Africa. Chancellor, I would like to call our guest speaker, Dr. Mtabela, on the stage.
Thank you very much, Vice Chancellor, for those kind words of introduction. I would have loved to be introduced right at the end of my presentation for certain reasons. I'll explain them later on. Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, Chair of Council, Zulu Executive, Inkosi yakwamkhwanwazi Ndonga waliyenkosi. Convocation, SRC President, academics, proud families, distinguished guests, and most importantly, our newly qualified teachers. A very good afternoon to you, one and all. The title of my very brief talk is Teaching the Noblest of All Professions. Congratulations and well done to all the graduates. You are not just graduating today, you are stepping into one of the most demanding, influential, and quietly heroic professions in our society. It's indeed a great day today, not just for you for completing the rigorous 4-year program. It is indeed a great day for parents as well. Sanbonan bazali. They are the ones who bent their backs to a breaking point for you to reach the milestone that you have, that of climbing to the highest rung of your ladder of success. Now that you have qualified as teachers, this day could notably be marking the end of poverty that has plagued your families for many decades. Speaking from experience, for me too, a day like this marked the end of poverty in my own home. So it cannot just be another day for you, just like it was not for me and for many in this auditorium. But alongside the celebration, it's important to speak honestly about what lies ahead. Teaching, as you have studied it for 4 long years is often neat and structured, but classrooms in reality are not. Many in the audience who have been teachers for many decades will attest to that. You will soon come to know that you will walk into spaces filled with children with different abilities, different personalities, different challenges, and different life stories. On some days, your lessons will go exactly as planned, and you'll be very happy when that happens. On other days, they will not. And this is not failure on your part. It is the type of work that you'll be doing. But note this, your strength will lie not in perfection, but in your ability to adapt, to think on your feet, and to keep going, no matter how tough the going gets. Many of us did that for many decades against all odds. Now is the time to discover that classroom management is not a chapter in a textbook. On the contrary, it is a daily practice that is built in the routine that you establish in the classroom, the respect you earn from your learners, and the consistency you maintain. You will soon learn that you do not need to be harsh in order to be firm. And you do not need to raise your voice in order to be heard. There is also an emotional truth about teaching that is rarely emphasized. And what is this truth? It is that this work that you'll be doing will ask a lot of you. You will be required to care deeply for the learners in your custody. You will spend sleepless nights worrying about your learners. You will carry their struggles and their frustrations along your own responsibilities. This is definitely not a walk in the park, but that is part of what makes teaching meaningful. Needless to say, it is also why you must learn to take care of yourselves. Boundaries, and I repeat, boundaries are not a weakness. If you care to know, they are what make longevity possible. You do not want to die young, do you? As you step into the classroom, remember that your learners do not arrive as blank slates. They bring with them to your classroom different languages, different cultures, different home circumstances, different social ills, and different lived experiences that shape how they learn and how they behave. Sensitivity to these realities is not an added extra. Mark my words, it is central to being an effective teacher. You will also encounter the less visible but critically important side of the teaching profession, such as marking. I've heard many stories that teachers do not do anything during holidays. Those who say that are not aware what kind of work the teachers confront. They take marking to their homes, and they also prepare reports. They attend meetings within the school and outside of the school. Subject advisors call them from time to time for training and stuff like that. And you'll also be taking care of the administrative tasks that seem endless. Remember the files? These are part of the job, and managing them well will require discipline on your part, organization, and in many instances, patience. Patience is a very critical attribute if you are to be a successful teacher. Beyond the classroom, you will be part of a professional community. Your relationship with your colleagues, with school leaders, subject advisors, parents, educator unions, as well as the community at large will matter. There will be moments that require diplomacy, moments that require firmness, and moments that require listening more than speaking. My exhortation to you, based on lived experience, is that you must handle them with absolute care. Another piece of advice, you must never assume that the day you complete your degree, graduate like you're going to do just now, head home to celebrate, marks the end of your learning. In many ways, it is the beginning of a lifelong process of learning. The most effective teachers are not those who know everything, but those who remain curious, reflective, and aspire to grow. In your own growth path, remember that your salvation lies in seeking mentorship, learning from your mistakes, refining your practices, and being the best that you can ever be. Successful teachers, if you care to know, hold firmly to their professional ethics. I do not want to talk about the dress code today, but I think one day somebody must talk about the dress code of teachers. So successful teachers hold firmly to their professional ethics, which are characterized by fairness, consistency, respect for confidentiality, and maintenance of appropriate boundaries. In a world where lines can easily blur, your integrity will be one of your greatest assets. Remember always that your primary responsibility is that one of teaching. Among other things, when you teach, is to assess your learners, you design the tests, and give feedback to your learners. Bear in mind also that assessment is not just about measuring performance. It is also about guiding learners, identifying gaps, and helping each learner move forward. Now, I'm sure you can see that the teaching profession is a serious business. Let us talk a bit about technology. In the 21st century, technology is part of your teaching journey. Use it wisely. Not because it is available, but because it adds value. And always remain sensitized that not all learners have equal access to it. Admittedly, the issue of access to technology can be very limited in poor communities. This is a sad reality and remains the education department's Achilles heel. Additionally, there will be times when you will question your own impact. Am I making the impact? Do these learners understand me? Does the principal want to listen and understand to what I'm saying? So those times will definitely come when you will feel like your progress is slow, that change that you're trying to implement is invisible. But teaching is really about instant results. And I would like you to underline that. It is about planting seeds, some of which will only grow long after your classroom days. I remember that one day, myself with my friend, Mr. Ngwanya, sitting down there, we went to a restaurant, we sat and we enjoyed a very expensive meal. But when we went to the till to pay, we were told that one of our former students had paid the bill. I'm not saying that ngoba ngumuntu othanda ukudla, but I'm saying that because, these are some of the things that you will experience. You will plant the seed and you will clean forget about it, and later on in life, you will reap the fruits of your labor. As we welcome you, we would like to sensitize you to the following expectations. Please underline them. When you step into the classroom, you will be expected to play a central role as a nation builder. So your work is not confined to within the four walls of the classroom, but you are expected to also lead, support, guide even outside of the classroom. You will be shaping people's lives, and these people will ultimately shape the country. Needless to say, it is a widely known belief, or rather an assumption, that a teacher's influence goes far beyond subject content. Some of you will be operating at the most basic level, where you will be equipping beginner learners with literacy, numeracy, critical thinking, and practical skills. By equipping those learners with these skills, you will be preparing individuals to participate productively in the economy of the country. A country's force, as we all know, and therefore its growth, depends heavily on the quality of its education system. No doubt about that. It is my considered view that unless teachers successfully transmit the nation's value system and social norms, the nation's growth is sure to become a stillborn affair. To you, as newly qualified teachers, it must be emphasized that in the classroom, you will be expected to expose learners not just to the subject matter, but also to the most desirable ideals, such as responsibility, respect, integrity, cooperation, and good citizenship. All of which are essential for a stable and functional society. By managing a classroom full of children from different backgrounds and helping them to understand how society works, you will be contributing to the much sought after but elusive social cohesion. Please note this: the classroom is not just the four walls within which to teach learners English, mathematics, or history. In a country like ours that has so many social ills and other issues that teachers have to deal with on a daily basis in our schools, the classroom serves as a platform, one that you will be expected to use to encourage dialogue and foster a sense of shared identity, which are especially critical in a society like Mzansi, with frightful historical divisions. You will be role models to many children in your classrooms. In my introduction, the Vice Chancellor mentioned that I worked in Guamashu. So those that know that township will tell you that it's one of the townships that was roughest at that time. So I was the inspector of schools there. So I decided to call everybody, learners and teachers and parents, to the stadium, Princess Makoko Stadium. And among other things that I mentioned was the fact that we need to have role models and that learners must be spoiled for choice. Bakete ama role models about Funai. So I spoke at length about that, but during question time, one learner put up his hand and said to me, but Babu Mtabela, where are those role models you're talking about? And there were teachers full of the stadium. Now, it is important that you become role models, that children will put up their hands and say, I have a role model in my school. As a learner, once upon a time myself, I looked up to my teachers, not just for knowledge, but also for guidance, character molding, so that I could find my way through life. Here I am today, and here are these dignitaries that you see behind me today, and in front of me, of course. Products of excellent teachers. When a teacher presents with attributes like fairness, discipline, empathy, and many more, chances are that they will be mirrored by their learners. That is what a role model does. An agent of change. As an agent of change, you will be in a position to identify potential, uplift disadvantaged learners, and obviate the cycle of poverty plaguing our country. By doing that, you will help create a more equal opportunities and a more inclusive society. I hope that you were not blindfolded when you chose teaching. I would like to believe that you opted for teaching, for this profession, not because it did not make the grade in other faculties. I'm optimistic, though, that choosing teaching was voluntary and out of true love for nation building. So as I conclude, let me declare that now it's party time. You have toiled for 4 years and more to be where you are today. Now it's time to celebrate and to enjoy the fruits of your hard labor. And as you celebrate with loved ones, remember this: the classroom is waiting for you. Hats off to the parents. Hats off to grandparents. Hats off to guardians and loved ones. You have done it. Congratulations. A big word of thank you also goes to the university management for the hard work that you put into training and developing these celebrated achievers. I thank you very much for your lovely contribution.
Honored guests, we shall now proceed with the conferment of degrees and award of diplomas and certificates. I request the candidates to take their position. I call on the Dean of the Faculty to present the candidates for conferment of degrees and award of diplomas and certificates. Chancellor, it is my honor to request the Dean of the Faculty to present the candidates to you.
Chancellor, I request you to confer the postgraduate degrees, award diplomas and certificates on the candidates present and in absentia whose names appear in the program.
By virtue of the powers vested in me, I confer the postgraduate degree, award diplomas, and certificates on the candidates whose names appear in the program.
Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you the Doctor of Education. Pilani Tutuko Goge. I call upon Prof. Gamede to read the citation.
The study investigated the experiences of social science teachers in investigating information and communication science in teaching and learning. The research was underpinned by an interpretive paradigm and supported by a qualitative research method to generate rich and detailed data. National policy frameworks strongly promote ICT as a tool to enhance curriculum delivery and stimulate learner enhancement. The findings were interpreted through social constructivism framework, which emphasized the role of social interaction, context, and experience in shaping knowledge and pedagogical practices. The study revealed several findings. First, although teachers narrate experience positive attitude of ICT and recognize its potential to enhance teaching and learning, teachers' actual use of technology remains limited due to considerable constraints, including inadequate infrastructure, unreliable internet connectivity, and insufficient access to digital devices. Secondly, teachers' ability to integrate ICT effectively is closely linked to their level of competency and the availability of professional development or opportunities. Thirdly, the study found that, or it highlighted the importance of continuous professional development. The study found that teachers were resourceful and resilient as they work in constrained environment. A major contribution of the study is that it extends the social constructivist underpin by illustrating how contextual of the study is maintained. Thank you.
Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you Pilani Tutuko Goge. Nambushle Prudence Mapumulo. The title of the study is Applying an Afro-Sense Framework to Manage Socio-Emotional Development of School Violence, a case of selected schools in Islazeni district. I call upon Dr. T.P. Ngomazulu to read the citation.
The study investigated the continuing rise of school violence and limited success of many existing interventions, especially in contexts marked by historical disadvantages. The central purpose of the study was to design an Afro-Sense framework that can guide schools and communities in strengthening socio-emotional development while responding to school violence. The study adopted a qualitative design located within a transformative paradigm. Participatory action learning and action research was used to position participants as co-researchers who helped generate practical solutions. Data were produced through focus group discussions from 4 violence-affected schools in Ehlanzeni District and Mpumalanga. The analysis used critical discourse analysis to examine how everyday language and institutional practices reproduce power, exclusion, and vulnerability in school spaces. The theoretical and conceptual lenses of the research were pre-college and Afro-Sense theory. Pre-college supported a flexible, multi-perspective approach to understanding complex social problems, whereas the Afro-Sense theory foregrounded African ways of knowing, Ubuntu-inspired ethics, and indigenous knowledge as valid resources for building safer and more supportive school environments. 2 major findings emerged. School violence was closely linked to community-level violence, creating unsafe environments that harm learning and socio-emotional well-being for both learners and educators. Bullying and victimization, unsafe schooling conditions, and persistent sexual prejudice and marginalization, including gaps in policies, were key challenges. The contribution of the study is the development of Afro-sensed framework grounded in social justice, community empowerment, and collective efficacy that can be applied to support schools. Thank you.
Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you Nobushle Prudence Mapumulo. Elisa Kitani Madau. The title of the study is Assessment of Migration Dynamics Among Grade R Teachers in Gauteng District. I call upon Dr. Mchali to read the citation.
The study read thus. The study investigated migration dynamics among grade R teachers in the Gauteng district. It was underpinned by the push and pull theory developed by Everett Lee. The interprevist paradigm was the philosophical frame of the study, which anchored the quality approach and phenomenological research design, which permitted the gathering of subjective views from selected grade R teachers. Major findings emerged from the study. First, poor school facilities and limited access to teacher resource drive teachers to seek better equipment environments. Secondly, better pay, benefits, and working conditions offered in other areas are tempting for teachers, leading them to leave the opportunities that offer improved compensation and work-life balance. The contributions of the study include the proposal to the Department of Basic Education to develop clear teacher retention strategies to offer job security, fair salaries, and clear career advancement opportunities specifically to grade R teachers. The policy contribution is the insights offered in the government to have schools, especially under-resourced ones, receive consistent support, materials, and funding to improve working conditions and reduce teacher migration. And for school governing bodies to make provision in their policies for school principals to create positive working environment where teachers feel respected, supported, and acknowledged for their efforts and achievements. The study makes a unique contribution to knowledge production by shifting attention to the overlooked issue of grade R teacher migration from South African early childhood education context. One of the examiners noted that the study addresses a critical, timely, and pressing issue in South Africa basic education. Two articles have been already published from this study.
Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you Elisa Ketani Madau. Congratulations. Nakatula Theodora Numalo. The title of a study is Complexities of Human Resourcing in Non-Viable Rural Primary Schools in the Congratulatory District, KwaZulu-Natal. I call upon Dr. T.Z. Ngidi to read the citation.
The study investigated the persistent concerns regarding teacher shortages, multi-grade teaching, inequitable staffing patterns, and the limited ability of existing teacher provisioning policies to effectively address the realities of rural schools in King Cetshwayo district of KwaZulu-Natal. The study employed a qualitative approach located within an interpretivist paradigm, with data being generated through in-depth interviews with the principal from the selected rural schools. The study was guided by Vygotsky's social constructivist theory. The findings revealed that non-viable schools continue to experience serious staffing shortages, which often compel teachers to teach subjects outside their areas of specialization and to manage multi-grade classroom with minimal support. The study further found that the learner enrollment figures play a significant role in determining the allocation of teachers, often disadvantaging smaller rural schools that already face structural challenges. The findings support that core ideas of the theory, which states that knowledge and learning are socially constructed through interaction, collaboration, and support within a social context. This study makes an important contribution to knowledge but by advancing our understanding of how human resourcing policies affect teaching and learning in rural non-viable schools. It contributed theoretically by strengthening debates on educational inequality, teachers' allocation, and the limitation of post-provisioning model in addressing the needs of small rural schools. Empirically, the study provides valuable evidence from principals directly responsible for managing teacher shortages and staffing challenges in disadvantaged communities. Practically, the findings offer important recommendations for policy reform, including the need to adapt teacher provisioning models, strengthening incentives for the teachers working in rural schools, improve support for multi-grade teaching, and provide targeted professional development opportunities for the teachers and school leaders. Thank you.
Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you Nakatula Theodora Numalo. Jotem Temba Simalane. The title of the study is Experiences of Primary School Teachers in Teaching Social Sciences in the King's Letchwayo District Municipality, KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. I call upon Professor Gamede to read the citation.
Contextual realities, teacher knowledge, and institutional support shape pedagogical practices and curriculum implementation in schools. The study employed to investigate the primary school teachers in teaching social science. It adopted interpretive paradigm and employed a qualitative case study method. Data was generated through semi-structured interview and classroom observation. Three key findings emerged. First, teacher experience challenges related to limited school content knowledge. Secondly, some schools lack teaching resources. Third, there was limited professional development. Then the study made important contribution to knowledge and practice in social science education. Theoretically, it strengthened the application of social constructive perspective in understanding teaching practices in resource-constrained schools. Practically, it offers recommendations for improving teacher development, resource provision, and curriculum support. The study highlighted the need for targeted professional development programs and strengthen institutional support to enhance the quality of social science teachers. The findings are relevant to the policymakers, curriculum development, and actionable practices aiming to improve teaching and learning in schools. Thank you.
Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you Jotam Temba Simalane. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you Doctor of Philosophy in Curriculum Studies, Figile Cynthia Linda. The title of the study is Assessment Practices of Technical and Vocational Education and Training College Lecturers in 3 KwaZulu-Natal TVET colleges. I call upon Dr. P.N. Kumalo to read the citation.
The study investigated the alignment between institutional assessment practices and labor market expectations in TVET colleges in KZN. It specifically investigated how lecturers implement integrated summative assessment tasks and how these practices shape student learning and readiness for the workplace. Guided by an interpretivist paradigm, the research employed a qualitative case study design. Thematic analysis was used to discern patterns and meanings from the data. Constructive alignment theory, which argues that how one teaches must align to how one tests students, guided the study. The major findings were as follows. A, while lecturers generally adhere to prescribed ISET guidelines and demonstrate commitment to prepare students for assessment, they face structural and pedagogical challenges, including inadequate resources, outdated equipment, limited professional development opportunities, and time constraints. B, constraints contribute to student disengagement and undermine the development of relevant vocational competencies. And C, misalignment between intended learning outcomes, teaching activities, and assessment tasks were evident, which weakened the overall quality of teaching and learning. The study revealed that practices in the TVET colleges contradicts the principles of the constructivist alignment theory. The contribution of the study includes its confirmation of the usefulness of the constructivist alignment theory in helping to explain practices in the TVET context. From a practical perspective, the study contributed a conceptual model comprising 7 interrelated components to improve pedagogy and assessment in TVET colleges. The study was supported by the Construction, Education and Training Authority. Thank you.
Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you Figile Cynthia Linda. Kainesile Glory Kaba. The title of this study is Exploring the Experiences of Teachers Regarding Academic Performance of Streamed Social Studies Learners, a case of Sishaweni in Eswatini. I call upon Professor H.R. Mshlungu to read the citation.
The aim of the study was to explore teachers' experiences regarding academic performance of streamed social studies learners in Eswatini, with specific focus on streaming practices and school policy influences. The study adopted a qualitative approach, multiple case study design, and was rooted in interpretivism. Data were collected through semi-structured interviews and document analysis, providing rich, context-specific insights into how streaming affects learners' academic performance and career development. The study was guided by Krumbold's theory, which explains career development as the result of learning experiences, environmental influences, and chance events rather than a single rational career choice. The study revealed three major findings. First, it found that streaming reinforces low expectation and limited learning opportunities, which negatively shape learners' motivation, self-concept, and academic performance. Second, the study found that schools in the Sichuan region used different streaming practices, but these practices were inconsistently understood and mainly driven by structural constraints such as overcrowding and teacher shortages, resulting in streaming failing to support informed career development for social studies learners. Third, the study found that school policies and practices strongly influence subject choices, thereby restricting learners' career exploration and undermined their future career development. Learner career development emerged as less as a dynamic learning driven and adaptive process and more a controlled channeling. The study made two significant contributions. It contributed to practice by proposing a practice model for career-aligned subject choices, which incorporates 6 key components, which are a streaming policy, learner subject choices, inclusive curriculum, streaming practice implementation guide, qualified guidance teaching, and adequate educational resources. The study bridged the gap between policy intentions and classroom realities. By providing context-informed evidence from teachers' experiences, the study strengthened the national knowledge base and offered insights that nuance existing international literature on streaming. Methodologically, the study offered a replicable framework that future researchers can test in practice as they explore streaming and classroom-level educational reforms across different subjects and settings in Eswatini.
Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you Kainesile Glory Kaba. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you Master of Education in Curriculum and Instructional Studies.
Muleleki Emmanuel Pengu. Tubelihle Philisiwe Dlamini. Stabile Caroline Duma. Celiwe Kina. Simpiwe Ngwengwe. Busisiwe Ntombifuthi Ungose. Thando lwenkosi Vusimuzi Ngema.
Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you Master of Education in Educational Management.
Nondumiso Dlamini. Mnotho Henry Kabashe. Thobani Phakamani Mthabela. Tosen Norman Nolukalo.
Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you Bachelor of Honors in Curriculum Studies.
Sphakeme Buthelezi. Nomfundo Makova. Degree obtained with distinction. Bongmenzi Sanele Mhlongo. Degree obtained with distinction. Sanele Mwabe. Degree obtained with a distinction. Bekanani Njabulo Ndimande, degree obtained with a distinction. Anele Novera, degree obtained with distinction. Samkelo Prince Kwanyana. Stembele Popel Skosana. Dombentle Pinky Sokela. Tutugani Shaganpani Zulu, degree obtained with a distinction.
Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you Bachelor of Education, Honors in Educational Management and Leadership.
Nelsiwe Brightnet Dladla. Thembaletu Kumalo. Nontogozo Monica Mashiane. Nobuhle Mbali Mbuyisa. Bongeka Promise Mchatu. Bonisiwe Nanana. Nomvula Pretty Kumalo.
Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you Bachelor of Education, Intermediate and Senior Phase.
Zomuhle Vincent Yandani Mabaso. Nombono Cynthia Madia. Simpiwe Prince Msomi. Tobis Mvelase. Siyabonga Blessing Dlovu. Hlobisile Duduzile Ngubane. Bavuyile Nkosi Ngiphile Vilakazi.
Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you the postgraduate certificate in education, further education, and training teaching.
Give us the name. What's the name? You know the name? Give us the name, please. So can highlight the name? Page. Yeah. Where's page? So this side. Where are we? That's here. Yes, we're here. This program. So Mula is here. Let's put it. Yeah, so as convocation to stand. And then say the commission one of such as fallen. The name is so that's one parents are here. You allow parents to stand that side. And then we keep them silent. Where are parents? Are parents here? Of the student, the deceased student. They are not here.
So then, they are not.
I think I thought it doesn't matter here while you're talking we'll find out. Yeah, just as a convocation to stand.
Okay.
You can announce money.
Yes, money. Normally they will get the certificate.
Even talking about that about school, what
Oh, we are really.
Simon,
Okay. May I please ask the congregation to stand? We have one of our graduates, Mzolisi Goodman Pungola, who is going to receive a certificate posthumously. Can we please just have a minute of silence, please? All right, thank you. So we have the parents here and relative to receive the certificate. Yeah, sorry about the loss. I hope you sleep, is a time when someone dies at this time is sleeping, so he's resting in peace. Thank you very much. You may sit.
All right.
Luyanda Malibongwe Buthelezi. Mhlengi Emmanuel Ciliza. Lutando Promise Dlamini. Twentle Bianca Dlamini. Sanele Vincent Dlamini. Bongeka Lungile Dludla. Sivikele Emalinda Dludla. Pumla Zipe Duma. Finiso Musa Kamede. Kosinat Emmanuel Gibele. Come this way. Nogwazi Tembeka Hlabisa. Buhle Buyanda Athenia Khoza. Nontsikelelo Studuzile Khoza. Ngobi Wenzel Lushozi. Sibonelo Mabanga. Sithandile Sinenhlanhla Mabaso. Pilenhle Ronel Makubane. Snotile Machia. Minenhle Sibahle Majola. Togozo Majola. Kululeko Zamani Manukuza. Onke Maqhina. Ayibongwe Aphile Mbatha. Kululeko Zethembe Mbatha. Nontobeko Sibekezelo Mbatha. Sthembiso Lawrence Mbuli. Tsina Slindile Mbuyazi. Nonduduzo Makrona Mchunu. Nomfundo Noluthando Mtaki. Sandy Somhlanga, qualification obtained with distinction. Sianda Mkize. Thokozani Bongumenzi Mncube. Retabile Valencia Mchang.
Ziyanda Amos Msele. Khethelo Sizwe Msimango. Sanele Fundiswa Mthethwa. Xolile Nonsikelelo Mthethwa, qualification obtained with distinction. Lungisani Mnqobi Mvubu. Thembinkosi Ntokozo Mvubu. Yanga Nqobela. Sikhumbuzo Siphelele Ndaba. Mlungisi Nhlakanipho Ndlovu. Nothando Zanele Ngubane. Thando lwethu Sithabile Ngubane. Akhona Nokwanda Nkosi. Bonakalisiwe Fakazile Nsele. Nokuphila Bongeka Ntombela. Sipho Ntshangase. Khanyisani Piwintlahla Nxumalo. Nombuso Nzama. Anele Shabalala. Tobega Shezi, qualification obtained with distinction. Tobisi Kanyiso Shongwe. Dombizodwa Shozi. Vusumuzi Samuel Sindeni. Ngamisile Lydia Stole. Ngobile Piwentle Sithole. Nosipho Sithole. Nogwanda Tusi. Sinenhlanhla Tusi. Banele Pamela Twala. Nomakhwezi Sithokozile Vilakazi. Nondumiso Zuzile Zigalala. Bandile Nothando Zulu.
Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you the Postgraduate Certificate in Education, Senior Phase and Further Education and Training.
Qiniso Stabiela. Sanelisiwe Kukulethu Buthelezi. Sibahle Thuthukani Buthelezi. Simiso Buthelezi. Sithandwa inkosi Fundile Buthelezi. and distinction. Malethi sibonga kuhle cele. Nezile cwele. Londeka lindo kuhle Dlamini. Zamile sibahle Dludla. Linda Thandeka Gumbi. Mcebisi Wonderboy Khumalo. Sinethemba Khumalo. Nothando Zodwa Khuzwayo. Mbulelo Koshiso. Nozipho Lembede. Nothando Millicent Lushaba. Tembeka Pamela Mabasa. Philani Sanele Mabiga. Sanele Mahlinza. Anele Melokuhle Makhathini. Nkuliso Innocentia Makhathini. Sinenhlanhla Loveness Makhoba. Sithando kuhle Mbali Makhunga. Amanda Sbahle Masondo, qualification obtained in distinction. Gcina Thandazile Mathenjwa. Nqobile Faith Mbambo. Ebolozakha Mikimba. Ziphelele Minenhle Mbuyazi. Lindokuhle Sandiselwa Mkhwanazi. Qualification obtained with distinction. Mdoda Surprise Mkhwanazi. Nothando Innocentia Mngai. Asande Sibonelo Mota. Thembisani Sibuyiselwe Mpanza. Nandi Pampelchwa. Sibonga kuhle Sizile Msweli. Lindiwe Lihle Mthembu. Mbali Mthembu. Nomfundo Bright Mthembu. Nothando Ayanda Mthembu. Qualification obtained in distinction. Mthembu Sinothile. Siyanda Percival Mthembu. Sthembiso Perseverance Mthembu. Mlungisi Sipesihle Mthethwa. Nosipho Mthethwa. Nondumiso Nokubonga Mtshali. Sinovuyo Portia Mxoviane. Mazwi Mzulwini. Siyabonga Ndlovu. Nomkhosi Ndwandwe. Ayanda Nqamu. Happy birthday Gogo. Nokwanda Lungeleni Ngobese. Xolisile Ngobese. Kwanele Lungisile Ngubane. Wenzile Nosipho Ngubane.
Nathi ngubo. Landiwe choice ngwenya. Qualification obtained in distinction. Phumelele Masha Ntuli. Ayanda Slungile Nwamba, qualification obtained in distinction. Tubelihle Nomkhosi Nyawo. Lethukuthula Mfundo Nzama. Lihle Mendi Nzimande, qualification obtained in distinction. Nomfundo Kwabe. Mpumelelo Ayanda Shandu. Bawinile Shozi, qualification obtained in distinction. Nkosikhona Philisiwe Sibisi. Thobeka Zwakele Simelane. Celimpilo Sithole. Seluleko Vuyokazi Sithole. Thobeka Khanyisile Olwethu Sithole. Sibahle Senamile Thwala. Sinethemba Vete. Buyisile Ximba. Ntombi futhi Zikhali. Mongeka Angel Xoliswa Zondi. Nokwethemba Manhle Ntombi yeNkosi Zondi. Phakeme Ndumiso Zulu. Sithandiwe Zulu. Bandile Lubanzi Zungu.
Choir.
Thank you, students. Let us settle down. I'm waiting for you to take your seats. Okay, thank you. The VC recognizes academic achievement at our institution. And in celebrating this achievement, we acknowledge that the top 5 students are selected from each faculty. In this session here, we have no top 5 achiever. We had in the morning, and then another 2 more will be recognized in tomorrow's session.
Chancellor Dr. Apostle Dlomo, Vice Chancellor Professor Gunene, DVC is present, Professor Mashia and Professor Brown, the Executive Management in its entirety, the Chairperson of Council, Professor Mabunda in absentia, Faculty Deans, Members of Senate, Registrar Mr. Keswa, Chairperson of the Institutional Forum, Dr. Makai, President of Convocation, Dr. Nhlakani Ponkwanyan, the President, Dean of Students, the President of the SRC, Sazindlela, present and speaking here today, SG Msamumloto. Ubukhosi besizwe sakaMkhwanazi, bale nkosi, Ndongo, siyakhahlela. Guest speaker, distinguished guests, academic staff who have toiled along the class of 2026 in the trenches of academia. Support staff who have made this august congregation logistically feasible and aesthetically pleasing. Graduates, osingayi banamhlanje, and most importantly, abazali. Ngenkulu inhlonipho nokuzithoba sanibonani. Standing before you is Ayanda Lwandile Freedom Zikhali, a member of the Convocation Executive who has been entrusted by the President of Convocation, Dr. Nkwanyana, with the imperative task of welcoming the class of 2026 to the strata of Convocation and subsequently conveying a message of congratulations for this milestone. Siyanibongela, futhi siyanamukela kwi-Convocation nasesigabeni se-alumni. Special congratulations are also necessary to those in their maiden graduation to formally baptize them into Convocation. Contrary to the popular belief that the student body is the biggest stakeholder in universities, Convocation and alumni is a cohort that overwhelmingly outsizes the student body numerically, although it does not dethrone it from being a major stakeholder, arguably. Convocation is not merely about recognition of graduation, but involves plentiful tasks and responsibilities. It comprises of various generations and layers who obtain their qualifications in accordance with the university policies and procedures. This structure is actively involved in the governance of this institution and prides itself as a key role player in defending the good name of the university while concurrently advocating for the brand UNIZU. As a statutory body, Convocation's primary interest is to represent the interest of graduates and marry them to the progressive developmental goals of the institution. Playing a pivotal and decisive role, the UNIZulu Convocation has been the cornerstone of institutional unity and prioritizing the institutional strategic objectives. It's on that note that one seeks to declare unwavering support to the newly appointed Chancellor, Dr. Dlomo. Baba Mfundisi, siyakwamukela, and thank you for availing yourself. As convicts, we stand tall and proud as the nominators of an epitome of unity, faith, and decorum. We must also acknowledge other stakeholders who understood and supported our call for a person of his stature. We also stand tall with pride as we welcome the appointment of Professor Kunene as the new Vice Chancellor and Rector. Madam Vice Chancellor, we commit to give staunch support to you and in your tenure and administration. This declaration is not based on an unacquainted point of departure, but from observed leadership and competence as you organically engaged in vertical upward mobility within the ranks and organogram of this university. This is a generous reminder that as you take the baton and face obstacles, we will be there at all material times. As we continue to reposition this prestigious University of Zululand to becoming a node for African thought, and also located as a citadel of solving complex African problems. In a capitalist system, institutions of higher learning primarily produce a contingent of professionals and skilled laborers for the ruling class. Most importantly, though, institutions produce a contingent of intellectuals around capitalist interests to advance liberal knowledge production. It's a pertinent question the University of Zululand must answer under your stewardship, Prof. Kunene. As a microcosm of society, universities are not immune to challenges that face the broader society. Hence, it is a miniature version of society. However, universities as strategic instruments of knowledge production are better poised to influence, change, and direct the socio-economic trajectory of society. In reverse, this means society is a macrocosm of universities, therefore enjoying a dialectically intra-influential relationship. The University of Zululand's stance as a node for African thought positions the university as an apex influence in decolonial efforts in academia and broader society. With all the socio-economic challenges that haunt us, we draw inspiration from the Vice Chancellor's opening remarks, which speak to the quality and morality of the average graduate. At the social scientific level, it's a call to antagonize the indoctrinated principles of capitalism, which are namely profit maximization, surplus value, and privatization, which seek to relegate organic intellectualism for profits of capital. Dare to dream. This is an invitation to all graduates and more especially abazali who trusted the university ngeziponono zabo from a very young age to think outside the confines of colonial script of only being worthy of selling labor power to the ruling class. Dare to be pioneers. Dare to be leaders of this country. Like you dared the naysayers who took this journey, when you took this journey, rather, to pursue knowledge. As I close with a short popular prayer. Nkulunkulu phela owaziyo ngekusasa lami. Omunye othi uyazi qamba amanga. Ngoba uyena. Siyabonga.
Chancellor Apostle Dr. MC Dlomo, Vice Chancellor and Principal Prof. Unene, the Executive Management, members of Council, Dean of Student, Izethameli, academic staff, and all supporting staff, Ubukhosi bamkhwanazi, Ndonga, Shamas, kwaliyo nkosi, siyabingelela. Sibingelela abazali. President Sazindlela, I greet you and the collective. To the class of 2025, Dumelang, good afternoon, Sanbonan. Today we mark a historic moment as the University of Zululand. As the University of Zululand celebrate the generation from an institution declared a node for African thought. Here knowledge is not only imported and memorized, it is born, where the rivers of Mfolozi and Mhlathuze, Nezintaba Zasongoye meet intellectuals from this very African institution. Class of 2025, you are that living proof. You wrote, researched, and debated in ways that root global knowledge in African soil. Look at your hands. Those hands started through load shedding, nibanjwa madabuga, and you built SRC campaigns. They are not soft. They are ready to compete in any opportunity and to make any opportunities. Beyond this whole, South Africa faces 32.9% unemployment. So our charge is simple. Do not only seek jobs, create them. Your degree is a seed capital. Use it to solve problems you saw in Wadlangezwa, Eskawini, Richards Bay, Olundi, Eshowe, and in any other villages you are coming from. The Node for African Thought does not wait for a solution. The Node for African Thought builds solutions to address African issues. Teachers, to those school you are about to serve, do provide solutions. And know that as your degree is being conferred to you, it means you are no longer a child, but you are a parent who need to provide guidance of life to those learners. To those who are supposed to be here with us, and to those who are not appearing on this program. If you have module left or modules, vusithathe wazi ukuba a degree delayed is not a degree denied. When they say to you again, class of 2025, be proud, be bold, be connected, be rooted, carry the name not for African thought with honor. When they say there are no jobs, tells them that you are capable to make jobs through entrepreneurial skills, education to foster employment, not only seeking it. Sibonge abazali abasibelethe sayisafika la sijabula khona. Izinyembezi zosizi lwasemakhaya ziphenduka injabulo namhlanje. Okumele iqhubeke zingane zabazali, ningakhohlwa abazali abawe bevuka nani. Bephosa nesente lokugcina ukuze bedle izithelo ngenye imini. Leyo mini isiseduze, leyo mini isifikile. The SRC would like to extend its heartfelt appreciation to the Department of Higher Education for ensuring that a maximum support is being delivered. Abanye bethu bekungeke bafike lapha bekhona without NSFAS. And any form of bursaries, siyabonga NSFAS, siyabonga Department of Higher Education, kwande lapho thathe khona. Siphinde sinxuse umnyango wezemfundo kanye nohulumeni wabantu base South Africa kuba uprovide imisebenzi to these people who are graduating today, so that leyo mizi izokhona ukukhanya ikhandlela futhi. To all student leadership from the highest structure, which is SAUS, SRC, and all substructures, siyabonga ekuzimiseleni kwenu nilwele ikusasa labafundi. Sibonga all political formations, and to be specific, and the gigantic movement and all progressive on ensuring that there is the advocacy and the campus is guided with ideology. To all students who participated in SRC campaigns and in the struggle of our students, siyabonga. Siyabonga. Akade beyibambishisa belula abafundi bengalali. Sicela ukubonga nakubona. Sibonge ku former Vice Chancellor Prof Eximtose on her absentia neteam yakhe ebisemsana naye kule minyaka edlule to contribute kuma students na ku student life na ku student well-being. To the current Vice Chancellor Prof Nene and your team, we acknowledge your contribution to student life. Let's work together and produce fruitful results. Siyabonga, please note that all submissions from the SRC is not for personal gains, but this is for the good cause of our students. Sesivala, the SRC would like to recognize and acknowledge all student activists who are present in this graduation today. Sithi halala, comrades, halala masosh. To my comrades, my forces, Comrade Mazimzulini, Comrade Samgelo Pumalanga Nkwanyana, the convener of SATU in this campus. Tombetla Sokela, a former YCL leadership, Thokozani Meya Mncube, a guiding activist, Tutukani Zulu, Nokwanda Tusi, Comrade Luyanda, Comrade Mlungisi, Inkosi Umthetho, Comrade Pumelele Mashantuli. Comrade Pumelele Mashantuli VC is the current SRC member serving as social transformation officer of the SRC, is graduating in the same venue. Class of 2025, go now and think, build, fail, rise, employ, and empower. Make this note impossible to ignore. The SRC believes in you. Africa is waiting. Halala Unizulu, halala. Siyabonga.
Chancellor, Apostle Dr. Dlomo, Vice Chancellor and Principal, Professor Gnene, Deputy Vice Chancellors, Professors Mashia and Professor Brown, Acting Registrar, Nozulu, members of Council, members of Senate, Zulu Management, academic and support staff, President of the Convocation, Dr. Nkwanyana and his executive, Ubkosba Mkwanazi, members of the Institutional Forum, the Dean of Students, SRC representatives, mayors present, business partners, graduates of the university, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, proud parents and guidance distinguished members of the faculties of this university, and most importantly, you, the class of 2025. Sanbonan. It is with immense pride and heartfelt joy that I stand before you today representing the chairperson of council on this momentous occasion. Someone called me Professor Mabunda. I'm Dr. Makanya. On behalf of the University Council, I extend my warmest congratulations to every graduate crossing the stage. Today, you join a proud lineage of UniZulu alumni who continue to shape our nation and beyond with excellence, courage, and commitment. These graduations happening at this time at most of the institutions of higher learning in our country, you can see that they are filled with jubilation. Families have gathered, lecturers and academics reflect on their contributions and graduate steps into professional life. It is a moment of achievement, and rightly so. To our graduates, your journey has not been easy. The pursuit of knowledge demands sacrifice, perseverance, and passion. You have endured long nights, wrestled with doubts, and stayed the course. Today, you reap the rewards of your hard work. You are not just a recipient of degrees, you are the torchbearers of our future. Your newly acquired qualifications will provide you with access. It will open doors and create opportunities for a better life. This university, as an institution of higher learning, has played a foundational role in equipping you with technical knowledge and skills to operate in complex environments and create pathways into professionals that carry significant responsibilities. So, siwumkhandli of this university, siyathokoza kakhulu nani bantu abami ngalolu suku olubaleke ngaka lokuba nethwesi iziqu nenisebenze kanzima, which I believe. Namhlanje ke lusuku lokuyigqaja nokugiya nokuyiqhayisa ngokuvuma ngokuvuna iy'thelo zey'thukuthuku zenu zomini nobusuku. Leduma lina libalela ukhulume ngamadabuka kumntana amademi la. Kodwa nina lokhu ninempokophelo lalusuku namhlanje nisebenzile kakhulu. And a special word of thanks to Dr. Mtabela, who was our guest speaker this afternoon. Siyabonga Chibi, Kominani, Siyabonga Ngalonde, for reminding our teachers that strength doesn't lie in prowess, but in the ability to accept things as they are. They need not to be harsh in order to be firm. They need not to raise their voices in order to be heard. You said a lot of things, and also with the dress code, even though you didn't go into details in it. Thank you very much, and I'm sure Dr. Mayoyo was happy to hear about that. My dear graduates of 2026, as you step into the world beyond these university gates, carry with you not just your qualifications, but the spirit of this institution. Stand firm against corruption at any form, shape, or color. Corruption is eroding the gains of our democratic freedom. It is like a cancer that is eating our country into oblivion. Human beings have the ability to choose between right and wrong. Do what is right. Contribute to the strengthening rather than weakening of oversight systems, consistent application of rules, and creation of positive organizational culture. Inculcate accountability and restore confidence and standard that are expected within your organizations. Wherever you will be, you must remember that you represent me and this university and other people. Therefore, tread carefully. When my wife joined nursing, I said to her, you must remember that when you ill-treat patients, they will drag me into it. They won't say, Usizakele Makanya have done this. Bazothi, umngamfundisi njalo lo. Ngakho, you must remember that whatever you do, wherever you are, hold this institution in high esteem. Remember that this institution was built, its foundation stand firm for generations and generations and you are part of it, and you must safeguard that. Siyezwana kodwa. Now, behind each of you stands a network of support, family, friends, mentors, and educators who have guided, encouraged, inspired you along the way. Therefore, I would like to take this opportunity to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks to all who have played a role in shaping your academic journey and in bringing this event to light. Kubazali, bengithi ngizothi ukukikiza kancane. Namhlanje siyabona ukuyinikela kwenu nothando eniliveze ekufundiseni labantwana. Siyanibongela kakhulu. Kubo bonke osolwazi nodokotela nabafundisi yonke iminyango yesikhungo imisebenzi nokuzimisela kwenu iyanikhulumela namhlanje nani siyabonga. Siyabonga kakhulu bazali ngoba abanye benu badayisa imfuyo ukuze laba bantu beze esikoleni. Abanye benu basebenza emakhishini bathukwe omesisi umuntu abekezelele nje ukuthi umntana amefundile. Ngakho siyabonga bafowethu. To our new Vice Chancellor, Professor Gnene, the Chairperson of Council says, thank you for hitting the ground running, Mtimani. Your official assumption of office was just a month ago, and in no time and your team have delivered the best graduation ceremony we can wish for. Thank you for your leadership in dedicating and guiding our university towards excellence. Your vision and tireless efforts have been instrumental in shaping the academic journey of our graduates. Council stand firm behind you. And I want to reiterate that as a member of council, that we stand firm behind you. I do not want to say we will die where you will die because I'm a man of God, but I'm saying something along those lines. And we also extend our gratitude to Mkabel Dinangwe. Thank you very much. And thank you for sitting here with us. And I hope you will be with us for the whole week. I'm going to disappear from today. But thank you very much. And thank you for availing yourself. And thank you to the members of CFCI for allowing us to use him as our chancellor. And thank you. And I'm being selfish now. I was very proud when I saw umfundisi for my church, my son, Uthando Lwenkosi Ngema, coming up here. And I'm happy that what I instilled in clergy in my former life is coming to fruition. We extend our heartfelt appreciation to the office of the acting registrar, Nozulu. You used to be my friend. For the pivotal role it played in the successful execution of this year's graduation ceremony, together with your deputy registrars. Thank you so much, Mpangazita, Siyabonga Mnguni, Siyabonga Noksi, Mastard. Thank you very much. A special mention also goes to CMD, under the leadership of Untlangoti, Mr. Mtambo, for their efforts in marketing the event, planning and logistics. PSD, Mr. Lukele, Information and Communication Technology, and their leadership. SRC, under the leadership of Mr. Ndlela, for your tireless advocacy and support on behalf of the student body. You know, since I joined this university, what I've liked about the past SRCs is that they believe in negotiation than using their legs in order to fight for something. Dr. Kala, Physical Planning and Operations, Dr. Telezi and your choir for rendering such with your angelic voices. Thank you very much. And various services providers that provided us this afternoon. So I wish you safety as you go back home. Engathi nemcimbi enihlela ukubungaza ngayo labantwana bami enizoyenza from tomorrow nange weekend nanini sengathi usimakadanga. May the Lord, the light of God surround you. May the love of God enfold you. May the power of God protect you. and may the presence of God watch over you. Thank you.
Honored guests, I hereby declare this graduation ceremony officially closed. On behalf of the congregation, I thank you for your presence at this ceremony. I request that everyone now stand.
One, two. 1, 2.
Amen.